Hello and welcome everyone. You're watching Battleground T20. I'm Shivani Gupta. It's been a brilliant, confident start for India in the World T20. They won the all-important clash against Pakistan in the tournament opener. Suresh, Raina and Virat Kohli making small of the 131-run target set by the arch-rivals. India started off slow, but the openers Dhawan and Sharma put on a 50-run stand. India then lost 3 wickets in the space of just 13 deliveries, pulling them back. But with batsmen like Virat Kohli and Suresh Raina, both of them extremely confident, very experienced and in good form, there was nothing to worry about as the two combined for a 50-run stand to take India through comfortably. Pakistan bowlers hardly able to trouble the Indian batsmen. India winning by 7 wickets in the end with more than an over to spare.
Right, he's connected that and he's connected that wonderfully.
Pakistan, on the other hand, started on a disastrous note with Kamran Akmal run out by Bhuvneshwar in the second over itself. Shehzad and Hafiz then built a partnership of 35 runs before the Pakistan innings stuttered again, losing both their set batsmen in successive overs. Shoaib Malik didn't also last very long, Amit Mishra picking up his second wicket of the match. And finally, the Seamers came into the action in an otherwise spin-dominated bowling attack. Mohammad Shami picking up the wicket of Umar Akmal, a very important one. Danger when Shahid Afridi wasn't too much of a danger today for India, going for a mere 8 runs. Bhuvneshwar Kumar picking up his wicket with Afridi. Pakistan managing perhaps at least 20 runs lower than they would have targeted against a batting lineup like India. 130 for 7 in their 20 overs. There you have the scorecard. India winning by 7 wickets. No troubles at all, really. Yes, it looked like they could be in a spot of bother. We'll talk about that with our experts. Former Indian off-spinner Nikhil Chopra joining me in the studio. Also, our consulting editor Boria Majumdar joins us from Kolkata. Nikhil, a very, very good start for India. A very confident start for India. Just what they needed.
Well, fantastic. And you know, the start of 2014 was not the best to write home about. But, you know, with this win, and especially against Pakistan, you know, this will actually give the Indian team a shot on the arm and exactly what they needed to boost up their confidence. Phenomenal. You know, you talk about game plan and then the execution of the game plan. Everything going well for Team India. You know, no cloud, no real due threats. You play an extra spinner. The spinner bowls pretty well. He picks up those 2 wickets. So everything working for Team India. The cause for concern was the opening partnerships. We got a phenomenal opening partnership as well in a T20 game.
And that's but that's also because they didn't have too big a target to chase. So they could take their time, which they did. Pakistan's fielding also was a bit of a concern, just like India. So those cancelled each other. Boria, should we just say that the man with the Midas touch is back and therefore everything seems to be falling according to plan, like Nikhil said. Everything worked to plan today.
Today, yes, for sure. I mean, don't jump the gun and say man with the Midas touch and all of that. It's far too early. But today, absolutely. I mean, spot on. It's been a comprehensive win. You, in your first opening comment, said Pakistan 20 runs short. Absolutely correct. With 130, you don't stop this batting lineup, even if you lose wickets in a cluster. With that kind of a batting lineup, 130 will never be enough. In fact, interesting, Shivani, last time round in Sri Lanka 2012, it was 129.
Yeah.
Today was 130. So every time in the World Cup, it's 129, 130. And with Virat Kohli in sublime form, every time I see this man, every time you want to don your hat. I mean, what sublime batting. This man is actually just batting like a person possessed. Suresh Raina, yes, 1 or 2 chances here and there. But Virat Kohli's innings, not once any chance of getting beaten. If he bats like this, you know, yes, you can say that Midas touch will perhaps be back. But today, big, big victory.
Absolutely. Suresh Raina said before the World T20, remember, he had been out of form. He lost his spot in the one-day side as well. He said you'll see a different Suresh Raina, and perhaps we saw that with this shot selection today, Nikhil. You know, the kind of shots that he was playing.
Well, I guess Suresh is always known as a person, as a batsman to go out there and never to be shy to go out there and play his shots. But the good thing is, you know, that initially on, once he got settled a bit, those shots started coming back. And that's what you talk about some of these experienced players. It's always those 5-10 runs initially, you know, that they need to get off the block. Once your eye is set, your feet are moving, then no matter who the bowler is, because these guys have been there, they've done that, everything starts to fall into place as well. So I'm glad at least at the end of the innings, Suresh Raina was not out. He's been able to finish a game. So I'm sure that, with that confidence that before the start of the tournament, he said that you will see a different Suresh Raina. So everything on an individual perspective that Suresh Raina had, or whatever he expects out of this tournament, things are starting to fall into place, which is a good sign for Team India.
Absolutely. Suresh Raina, an extremely, experienced customer. He's a proven match winner. And that is why, perhaps, despite being out of form, there was not even a question that he was going to be in the squad and he was going to be in the playing 11. What are your thoughts on Suresh Raina's batting today?
You mentioned the word shot selection. That's what Suresh Raina is all about. Nobody ever has doubted his talent. I mean, there is no question he's a bundle of talent and energy and dynamism. But shot selection continues to be a concern. If you see 2 overs left and Junaid Khan was bowling, India needed a runner ball. He went over mid-off. It was his day. He got it over. The next over, the first ball before that 6 that he hit, it was a chance. So I'm not fully convinced. I mean, yes, it's a different Suresh Raina, but if you see the shot selection, there were problems today. I am delighted, as Nikhil said, that he stayed there and finished the game. That does loads to your confidence. That's why I'm saying this team revolves around Kohli. Virat Kohli being there gives you that cushion of confidence, that extra cocoon, alongside which Suresh Raina, Rohit Sharma, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, even a Mahendra Singh Dhoni now revolves, because that pillar that Virat Kohli is bringing to the middle for India worked today quite wonderfully.
Yes, let me mention that just why this was a match for India to lose, really, after the target of 130, and a match perhaps that had gone out of Pakistan's hand. Take a look at India's statistics. When in a T20 they chase less than 125, they've won 3 out of 3 matches. Between 125 and 150 before this match, they had only lost 1 out of 5 matches. So, this was always going to be too low a target for a batting lineup like India. Nikhil, Virat Kohli, we've already spoken a lot about him in the last 2 years, but this man just knows how to carry it on, isn't it?
Well, touch wood, I don't want to get into that, commentator's curse, as you say, that when you start praising a particular batsman, his downfall.
We've been doing it for 2 years, it hasn't happened, so maybe it won't.
The beauty about this youngster is, the consistency and the way he's been able to absorb pressure. This is a high voltage game. When you're playing Pakistan, not too big a total, everybody's looking upon you because you've been in this fantastic form over a long period of time, and you know that you've got the respect of your team. Now, in sport or in cricket, the most difficult thing to do is, Shivani, to go out there and keep on performing on the expected line. Each time you do well, the expectations grow. Yeah. And to go out there and prove your mettle every single time, or high pressure game, you've been able to raise your game every single time. Phenomenal, the mental strength, the fight between the years for Virat Kohli is enormous. The first 10-15 runs you watch, he's batting as if there's no problem.
There's no touching him. There's no touching him.
He makes batting look so easy, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's just good news for India. You mentioned Suresh Raina carrying on his bat, Virat Kohli playing like the match winner he is. Let's take a look at the winning moment for India. 36 and 35 not out. That's how the scorecard reads for Virat Kohli and Suresh Raina respectively. Coming in good strike rate, nothing massive. They played exactly how they were supposed to. There was no need to get carried away. They did exactly the job to the T. India celebrating a massive victory over Pakistan, a psychological victory and also a great victory to start with in the competition. It's always good to start with a win with teams like Australia and West Indies coming up next, and also Bangladesh, who are in this group now and can always be very tricky, but good start for India. India winning a big match against Pakistan, a confident victory for India, everything going according to plan. Maybe it's MS Dhoni, maybe it's something else, we don't know, but it's a big win for India in the World T20. Take a look at how the match panned out.
The men in blue have marked their arrival in Bangladesh in style, as the dominant team India beat Pakistan in the opening match of the 2014 World T20 Championship. After being put into bat, the Green Brigade got off to a shaky start, and confusion between the openers gave India its first breakthrough. The bowlers then tightened the noose as Pakistan batsmen struggled to break open. Indian spinners struck twice in as many overs to reduce Pakistan to 47 for 3.
To get under it, he does, and holds on to it this time. And he's happy. Why not? He's bowled superbly. Amit Mishra.
Shoaib Malik and Umar Akmal then took advantage of India's sloppy fielding with a counter-attack.
Tell you what, once the spin. No, that's a misfield.
And just when Pakistan batsmen looked to punish India in the death overs, Indian bowlers emerged on top as they picked 3 quick wickets to hamper Pakistan's charge.
Taken in the deep this time. They've got a very handy fielder at long off. Raina was in business again and...
Shoaib Maqsood, however, smashed Shami for 15 runs in the last over to help Pakistan post 130 runs in 20 overs. Indian openers made a cautious start, but stepped up the ante in the 4th over as Rohit Sharma hit Junaid Khan for consecutive boundaries.
Now he's gone over the top again.
And then Dhawan joined in with 3 fours in Ajmal's next.
He hit it in front of square.
But then the Green Brigade struck back as Dhawan, Rohit and Yuvraj were removed in a span of just 13 deliveries.
Oh, he's bowled into the mover.
Things could have gone worse for India, but Shahid Afridi dropped Raina when he was still on 7. And Raina made Pakistan pay as he, along with Virat Kohli, put together a 50-run partnership to take India home. With Sameer Rajguru in Dhaka, Sports Bureau headlines today.
And a very good start.
A slight stutter there in the end for the Indian innings with 3 wickets gone in the space of just 13 balls. But Virat Kohli, Suresh, Raina weaving their magic yet again. 2 very experienced players for India. Let's take a look at their performance. The wagon wheels for both these players. Suresh Raina runs all around the park, which is what he's used to. Played a little bit straighter today than perhaps we see more than usual from him, isn't it, Nikhil?
I guess, Shivani, the good thing is, even he realizes prior to those 2 practice games that he wasn't in the best of form. Now, how does a batsman get back into form, looking to play in the V, with the full face of the bat? He needs to spend some time out there in the middle. And after that half century that he got in that practice game, I guess initial 5-7 runs, like you just said, that he was playing in the V. Once he spent a little bit of time out there in the middle, then the shots started coming. He was pulling well, short arm jabs that he's well known for, to go out there and play shots. He was just milking the bowling all around. It's good to see that once he's got that 35 not out, he was there right through the end.
And the good thing about Raina is that, he's a tournament to tournament man. When he starts doing well in a tournament, he's somebody who carries that form through that tournament. He might have ups and downs outside, but he's a good campaigner when he's in form and carries that for a considerable period of amount. Let's take a look at Virat Kohli. 36 runs not out for him today. Virat Kohli again, this man is blessed with all the talent that one can ask for. Always very strong in the square region, but he too can hit it anywhere. No wonder people call him the next Tendulkar, or perhaps someone who can go even more than Tendulkar.
Well, phenomenal. He's been Mr. Consistent for Team India. He's been like the Rock of Gibraltar, batting at number 3. Everybody tends to bat around him. And it's not just about his onside. Everybody is, comparing him to Viv Richards or Azharuddin, people or VVS Lakshman who very good with their wrist.
Yeah.
It's not just about the onside. If you look at his wagon wheel, he's got more runs today, even on the offside.
Yeah.
So he gets into such fantastic positions that he's able to work the ball. And initially he's only working the ball, and he picks the length off the ball phenomenally well. Some of those short arm jabs or a flick off over mid wicket, that is a hallmark of a player who tends to have a lot of time on hand. So Virat Kohli, sublime form.
Absolutely, and that is really such good news for Team India. Let's talk about the bowlers now. I will also go across to Borya Majumdar, a consulting editor who's with us from Kolkata. Okay, Ashwin, the spinners, Nikhil did extremely well. 63 runs in 12 overs, not expensive at all in T20 format. Let's start with Ashwin. He went for 23 runs but did not pick up any wicket. There's the pitch map for him, the region where you would expect him. But what this doesn't show is the fact that all his balls were towards the leg side. Do you think he can do something differently to get wickets?
I guess initially I think he's doing the most difficult job for Team India at this moment of time because he's bowling with a new ball. Because we played a medium pacer less. He was opening the innings. And against Kamran Akmal, he was bowling around the wicket. So maybe that's why the pitch map suggests that most of the deliveries were pitched on the onside. They were skidding on. But, as the game progressed, he got the ball in his hand. then he has to start attacking the off stump more, because then you are allowing the ball to grip and come back into the right-hander. That is what is going to give you opportunities to go out there and pick up wickets. I can understand when you're bowling in the circle, you got to be in a very defensive sort of mode. But the slower you bowl, the more chances you've got. I think he was a little, guilty in terms of pushing it a little bit with the new ball, and that's why he got hit a bit.
All right, let's go across to Boria Majumdar. Boria, spinners doing the job for India. It was such a huge debate whether India should play with the 3 spinners, especially against a team like Pakistan. But MS Dhoni used them brilliantly, Ashwin, started the bowling attack for India, and they picked up wickets at regular intervals.
Absolutely, there is no question about it. I mean, and especially against someone like Kamran Akmal, who's a right-hander and is a very, very good player of spin. But, Ashwin has actually perfected the art of coming round, bowling in that trajectory. I was hearing you and Nikhil talk about the leg stump line, but that is also a containing line, and he uses the carom ball. If you see, even in the Asia Cup, he picked up the first wicket with the carom ball coming in, going the other way. So he's perfected that line. And after conceding that boundary of the 3rd or the 4th ball, where Kamran Akmal went over a square on the onside towards sort of short fine, over short fine, the 4th ball was actually a flighted delivery on-off, and he bowled 3 very, very good balls. And if you could lip read, he was actually admonishing himself for bowling that ball. It was a good performance. Amit Mishra, man of the match. Ravichandran Ashwin, very, very economical. Ravindra Jadeja picking up a wicket. The overcast conditions helped India, otherwise they would have been due. All said and done, fantastic performance.
All right, there are the numbers for Ravindra Jadeja as well. Let's come back and actually look at their pitch maps as well. Let's go across to Amit Mishra first. Picked up 2 wickets, extremely economical. Just the performance we wanted from him, and it's good to see that he was given the faith to be in the playing 11, because the performances leading up to this match had suggested that it's actually Mishra who's your wicket-taking bowler.
And the good thing is, he allows the ball to hang in the air. He's slower through the air, and he's actually getting the ball to turn off the wicket. You look at those deliveries in the good length area, it suggests that this man's not, shy of throwing the ball in the air. It's a T20 game. For any spinner, all of a sudden you'd be wanting to get into that defensive mode. Let me just zip it in through, good length area, not allowing the batsman to get underneath or not allowing him to get the elevation that you need. But here's a man who's throwing the ball in the air. It just goes to show this man's got phenomenal amount of confidence, and that confidence has come because he's been doing so well in the IPL as well. He's not shy of throwing the ball in the air in this T20 version.
Absolutely, he's very experienced. I believe last season he matched Lasith Malinga as the highest wicket taker in the IPL. Let's quickly go across Ravindra Jadeja's performance as well. Obviously, the pitch map suggests the bowlers are pitching the ball at the areas where you would expect them. He bowled more, in the line actually, and not so much on the leg side as others. But Ravindra Jadeja doing what he's supposed to do.
Exactly, and that's his strength. If you look at his stock delivery, it's quicker through the air within the stumps. The batsman miss, you hit. He doesn't rely too much on getting the ball to turn or throwing it up in the air as well. He's very much there and thereabouts. The good thing is, like his stock delivery is always in that good length area, and that's how he picked up the wicket. A batsman's trying to take any sort of risk, he gets rewarded for it. So he's been doing a phenomenal job with Team India, just looking to contain the batsman. But the good thing is, these guys will keep on doing well as long as Ravichandran Ashwin bowls well with the new ball and Amit Mishra in the middle picks you wickets. Had these guys not done well, or Mishra not picked up those wickets early on,
then
this bowling attack would look completely very different.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, remember the second over, we got our first breakthrough through a run out. Who knows what could have happened if that first breakthrough had not come that way. But let's take a look at just why spin was a winning factor for India. And perhaps there's still a slight worry when it comes to the seamers and the fielding. Take a look.
MS Dhoni went into the match with 3 spinners.
It does.
And not only did he use them well, but the trinity of Ashwin, Jadeja and Mishra repaid the faith too.
To Ashwin, it's not unusual.
Ashwin was given the very first over, and while it was Bhuvneshwar who managed the first breakthrough with the run out, the tweakers were then in full flow.
And the LED stumps are flashing.
First, Amit Mishra scalping the wicket of Ahmed Shehzad with a classic leg break, and then Shoaib Malik caught at long off.
Mistimes this taken in the deepness.
Ravindra Jadeja picked up the wicket of captain Mohammad Hafiz in his very first over.
To get under it, he does, and holds on to it this time.
Ashwin went wicketless but gave away only 23 runs in his 4 overs. Against a side like Pakistan, the figures for Indian spinners were the best good news for India. 12 overs for just 63 runs and 3 wickets. While Shami and Bhuvneshwar both picked up a wicket, they went for more runs. Economies of over 7 and over a concern for India.
Wicket taken this time.
The two-seamers bowled 3 of the last 5 overs and gave away 28 runs in comparison to 6 runs in 2 overs by spinners. But it were the misfields that hurt India the most. Whether it was Yuvraj dropping Mohammad Hafiz
Dropped it. Power. And Indian once who got there onto the ball.
or Bhuvneshwar Kumar giving away free runs to Pakistan.
Tell you what, once this
A good bowling performance worked versus Pakistan, but India will have to pull up its socks in the field with teams like Australia and West Indies next. Karishma Singh, headlines today.
Possibly the best batting lineup in
Nikhil Chopra and Borya Majumdar still with us, and we're getting a lot of questions from our viewers on Twitter. Borya, let me come to you with this one, which is an interesting question. What was the turning point of the match for you today?
You know, the 130 was definitely below par, but most importantly, Kamran Akmal run out for 9.
Yeah.
I think it broke the momentum. I think it broke the momentum completely for the Pakistan batting and Mohammad Hafiz getting out, because these are very, very important concerns. These are the 2 very important batsmen for Pakistan. I heard Karishma's view there saying against Australia it will be significant. You know, Shane Watson and David Warner, one left-hander, will go hell for leather. So that will be a fundamentally different proposition for India. But today, you know, I think Kamran Akmal's wicket was actually the turning point in this contest.
Right, that question was from Manish Agarwal. Prabhu asked the question to Nikhil Chopra. Do you think Ajinkya Rahane Nikhil should now play in place of Rohit Sharma? Something we've debated at length here on Battleground T20.
Well, Prabhu, first of all, thanks for your question. Well, to be honest, now that the team's done well, we won. I don't think Mahendra Singh Dhoni is going to, change the winning combination. And don't forget, tonight we had an opening stand of 50-odd runs. Ajinkya Rahane is a phenomenal batsman. He will get his time. Make no mistake about it. But it's just, because the team's done well, we won comprehensively. I don't think that this combination is going to be changed.
Former Indian off-spinner Nikhil Chopra and our consulting editor Borya Majumdar joining us on the show. Borya, your thoughts about this question that still persists about the opening combination, and to broaden that, would you like to see any changes at all in the playing 11 in the next match?
No, I think Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan for a T20 contest batted well today. I mean, you got a start where it was sort of 40 for no loss. So you've actually got both of these players batting well. I think Nikhil was right. Ajinkya Rahane is a great player, very good player, very, very, positive person to have in the side, immense potential. But after today, where do you blood him? If the only person who failed is Yuvraj Singh, you cannot drop him on the basis of one game. So no, I mean, you cannot tamper with the opening combination. I think Rohit Sharma was superb. I think Rohit Sharma, some of the shots that Rohit Sharma played, Shikhar Dhawan was suspect. Circumspect initially against the off-spinner, the left-hander. But Rohit Sharma was brilliant. That's when that 4 and the 6 of Junaid Khan set the match up after the first couple of overs, which were relatively quieter. Yeah. So absolutely not. No change against Australia.
Yeah, actually Rohit did quite well. He was contained enough, didn't take a lot of risks, but he went for his shots, and actually that opened the floodgates for India. Nikhil, then we have to talk about Yuvraj Singh. Lots of questions coming on Twitter as well for our experts on Yuvraj Singh. Just what is going wrong with him now? 3 matches, not much to talk right home about.
Well, I guess in one of those practice games, he's got that 30-odd. Players who've been there, who've been proven match winners. It's those initial 5 to 10 runs or 5 to 7 runs, one boundary can get them back into the nick. It's always those first couple of runs. If the batsman gets out, you've got to give credit to the bowler. They probably searched Yuvraj Singh out, and UV was probably expecting another short one. That could happen in sport, but I am still a firm believer that Yuvraj Singh is to deliver his best in this tournament as well, because if you go by his track record, every single World Cup that he's played, whether it's T20 or the 50-over format, he's brought out his best. Exactly. It's just that 5-10 runs that UV needs, and you watch. he'll be winning games for Team India once again. It's just that 10-15 runs, getting that confidence back. And he is a proven match winner.
He is a proven match winner. There's no denying that. Has been out of the team, but brought back for the T20 World Cup precisely because of his record, not just in the T20 format, but also overall on the big stage. So no questions really. It will just be great for India if he comes to form quickly. Today, a lost chance for him because there was not that much pressure of a huge target or anything, and he could have taken his time, perhaps got a good delivery to go out today. Let's talk about Pakistan also a little bit here. We always know them to be a little mercurial, but they give us certain highs in a match as well. Today was a slightly limp performance, Boria, from Pakistan.
Very. I mean, it's an understatement to say slightly. I mean, 130. That innings never got momentum, Shivani. Never that innings got momentum. And that is what Pakistan had to pay for. I think it was not great captaincy either from Mohammad Hafiz. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, some of the shot selection was poor. Shoaib Malik, a very, very seasoned player, experienced player, he got dropped in the deep. The next ball played, another risky shot got out. Some of the shot selection you have to question today. So overall, a very limp performance. Just quickly to add to that Yuvraj Singh point, if you see some of Yuvraj Singh's dismissals against Pakistan in the World Cup, that is a problem. You think of the way in the 2011 Mohali semi-final he got out, same delivery, second ball, that was first ball, today was second ball, Yorker bowled. So it's a Yorker and the short ball. So there are two different chinks in Yuvraj Singh's armour. And believe me, Mitchell Johnson worked him out. The other teams will work him out. He's expecting the short ball. He's back. He's holding himself back, and that Yorker exploited. If you go back to that Mohali dismissal, check it on YouTube. The viewers should do that. It is a carbon copy of what happened today. And that's 2 years back. So obviously the reflex may have gone down slightly more. It's a serious problem.
Yes, something Yuvraj should work on. That is the concern I'm getting on Twitter as well from our viewers. Does he need some sort of a help, to kind of counteract that problem that Boria is talking about? Maybe somebody needs to talk to him. Maybe he needs to put in a little bit more work. So that's perhaps the only dampener Yuvraj is showing today's match. Otherwise, overall a pretty good match for India. Yuvraj, remember, dropped a catch as well. So overall didn't turn out to be a very good day for him. But the champion of the day has to be Amit Mishra, the man who's really, very underrated, but does his job quietly, goes there, gives the performances. T20 is turning out to be his format. 4 overs, 22 runs, 2 wickets for India today. He's our champion of the day. And to think that he wasn't even sure of his performance or his place in the team earlier today is, tells everything about the man to come into the playing 11 in a match like against Pakistan and prove your credentials. Hitman of the day for us today is Suresh Raina. Some of his shots were truly breathtaking. It was a close call between Raina and Virat Kohli, but we picked Suresh Raina for some of his shots today. There's a look at his statistics. 35 runs, 4 fours, 1 big six, a strike rate of 125. Nikhil, do you want to take that point that we were touching upon about Yuvraj Singh? Should somebody talk to him? I mean, this is where the role of the coach, the captain, the seniors in the team, I mean, actually he's the senior in the team, comes into play. What should be said to Yuvraj Singh, or what he should put as work to kind of sort out that issue? To
be very honest, Yuvraj Singh is a seasoned campaigner. Make no mistake.
But he has the same problem. That's what we're trying to establish.
It's unfortunate when sometimes a sort of dismissal follows you. Like Boria was saying, he got out in that game against Pakistan. It's a carbon copy thing. Sometimes that can work. Suresh Raina, a lot of bowlers around the world know that he can't play the short ball too well, but he's been able to cope that. He's been able to overcome that challenge mentally, and he knows where his strengths or weaknesses lie, and you realize that the opposition is going to go out there and target you as well. I'm sure UV will sort this problem out very, very quickly. To me, I have no doubt in my mind that UV is a fantastic player. It's just that in a team sport, not all 6 batsmen or not all 5 batsmen go out there and get runs. Some of them, miss out, and probably UV missed out today, but I'm sure he's going to bounce back, and he's going to bounce back very quickly in this tournament.
The good thing is for India that, India has that batting lineup. Let's quickly go through some of the other tweets we're getting. Do you think Indian players gave their 100% today? If not, what are the areas for improvement? That question coming for Boria. Boria, I have only 30 seconds left. You want to take that very quickly?
Yeah. Obviously, they gave 100%. They won the match comprehensively. They gave 500%. The fact of the matter is, areas for improvement, obviously fielding. And, touching upon that Yuvraj Singh point again, if you see the 2011 World Cup, what also gave him confidence is the fact that he picked up those 11 wickets. So get him the ball. I mean, maybe one or two wickets will give him that extra cushion of confidence. Yeah. I too have no doubt that he's an absolute key cog. But give him as much confidence as you can. And about 100%, you gave 200%. That's why you won like that.
All right. So that answers and settles that debate. The World Cup curse for Pakistan, though, against India continues. Remember, even after today's match, they haven't beaten India in a marquee clash in a World Cup, whether the ODIs or the T20 World Cup. On that note, let me thank our guests, Boria Majumdar and Nikhil Chopra. Of course, keep watching Headlines today. We'll keep getting you all the action, not just from this match, but as India takes on other teams as well. Goodbye for now.